Welcome everybody. Today we're going to be installing the lock kit on a 2023 Defender Can-Am Limited. We're going to begin removing this outer door skin here. We're going to take off the T20 right up here. We have a T30 here, and then two in the back, there, and there. Once you remove those, you can pull outwards of the door skin. This gauge clips. And just going to back up. And then now you see here, we already have the lock cylinder installed. You're provided with templates. So you can just mark that, drill that out with a 3/4 inch drill bit. You can remove this door handle bracket here, so you can begin by popping this clip off. Get that rod out, and the two T30s, one here, one there. Take the template with the F on it for front. And you'll see it goes right over that door handle pin. And you'll want to align those markings here on the side. You can see that. And then you'll take a center punch and mark your hole right at the top. That'll be your upper hole for the pin to go through. And now flip the bracket over and pop this lower pin out. And the clip for the pin, I'm sorry. Just move the handle. Now you want to flip this over and put the pin in the other way. Now you can take that template and reverse it so that it lines up on this side. And now for this side, you'll just want to align this front edge. So you can see how those are flush. So then you mark your hole, drill it through. I'll remove that again. Yeah, after you get those two holes drilled out, you can put the handle back on. And once you get the handle back on, you'll have to drill through the handle itself to go through all three layers. So you can see the hole in that one. So now I can pop the pin back in, reassemble the door handle. Put this back down here. Alright, so now to mark the bottom hole for the case, you'll take a Sharpie and mark around the lower lock case. As you can see, this one already has some marking around the box. See right behind there we have a mark too. So now, after we pull this out, you can see this hole's already been drilled, but you'll take the template here, you'll take the smallest hole, the small hole side, I'm sorry, and line it up with your Sharpie mark, and then center punch that and drill it out using a 1/4 inch drill bit to start, but you may enlarge it if you find that a lock is hanging up inside of the bracket here. Alright, put the door panel on partly. Just want to make sure that your pin is pulled down, which in our case it isn't. So just pull that back down, make sure that door handle blocks it. You're going to put your spring on the lock cylinder. And now, take the key, put it in the lock position, unlock position, sorry. This will just make it easier for installing it. And I'll push up on the bottom of the door panel, line up all the tabs. Pop the nail back out. The operation. There you have it. Front doors are finished. Now on to the rears. Same thing for the front doors. We're going to take out 3 T30s, no T20 on this one. You're going to remove the upper bolt here, not the lower one. And you have another T30 right down here. And then the third one is right up in here. After you get those removed, we've already taken our panel off, but same deal. Pull it out, pull it back up and out. And then the whole panel will come off. And after that is done, we'll take your rear door drill templates, line it up with your handle cut out right in there, and line up that upper corner. And then mark your hole, drill it out, and put your lock cylinder in there. So now you take your provided drill template, and then you're going to place it right on top here. And just push down right where that pin goes through for your door handle. And then you want to line up these tabs here. So right now it's a little off-centered. So when you mark your hole, just make sure that those are lining up. And take your center punch put it right through that little hole, guide pin, punch the hole, or mark the hole, I guess. And then you're gonna drill it out using a 9/32 drill bit. So slightly bigger than the 1/4-inch pin that goes in there. It just allows for a little more room in case you misdrill the hole slightly. So after you drill out this top hole here, you're gonna take the lower template, which is just a mirror of the lock case. So we're gonna slide that tab back over like that. And then you're gonna do the same thing, mark the hole. You can see right there, it lines up perfect. So after that is done, you'll now take the lock case right here, pull the pin back, grab the eyelet, and then same type of deal, take that tab, slide it over, see the pin pops up. And you're also gonna make sure that this here clip kind of slides right into that chamfer. So that allows room for that. You're gonna take that 6mm bolt, just thread it into that insert, and you'll tighten that down with an 8mm wrench. Alright, so after you have your lock case installed, you're going to pull the pin down, open the handle. You can let go of the pin there. Just try not to let go when you're installing the door panel because they will lock again. There's no way to get at this with the door panel on. And you slide this handle in here. Now, I'll come over here and see our spring that we need to attach to that eyelet. So I'm just going to reach up in here. Grab that spring, so loop it on that just like so. So now same thing, line up the lower tabs. Two in the front, and over here. Alright, so now we're going to test the operation of the lock. See the door opens and closes just fine. Now we'll stick our key in here. Turn to the left. There we have it, door's locked. So if you find that your door is not unlocking or you feel it hanging up, you'll want to turn the lock cylinder clockwise to provide more spring pressure to pull that arm down, and then vice versa, turn it to the left if it is not engaging all the way. Alright, so this next segment of the video only applies to the 2024 Defender Limiteds. So they changed this rear door handle bracket here so it doesn't have this lower ledge that you would normally bolt that case to. So, like that you do with 2024, so you want to move these two T30s right here. And take this whole handle bracket off. If you want to look at the clip. There, so right there. Just kind of push it over the finger. And you can see that rod slides right up and out. And now this one we've already drilled the holes, but show you the template, what you'll do with it. So take the one marked with the R, lay it right over that handle pin, and then you'll take a center punch, and you'll mark both holes, well, not the top one on this one, in this case, but just the lower one. And then once that's marked and drilled, you can pop the handle out. And you'll flip it upside down and put the pin back through. And then take that template again, this time flip it over. And then you'll do the same thing, make sure that top edge is flush. You'll mark that hole, and then you'll mark this hole and drill this one through. So after all the holes are drilled, you can reassemble the handle. So I'll take this. Make sure this is facing the right direction. Like that. Then you can just bolt this back up. Alright, so with the bracket reinstalled, you can pop this handle out like this. Just set it off to the side, and this will make it easier to install the lock case. So we'll pull that back, pop that in. Take the 8mm and thread it in at the rear. It's a little tight, be a little tricky. Alright, so after you have that bolted up like so, we'll pull this back, and we'll pop the handle back into its place. Push that pin back through. We'll take that clip. And then when you put the clip in, there's a chamfer on that lock case. Right in there, so you want to kind of, oops, just line it up with that best you can. Pop that clip on. Right here, and I'll pull this back, open the door, reinstall the door panel. Now, after you get the door skin off, it's time to drill out the lock cylinder using the provided templates. You just kind of just line up front corner to there, and the door handle marks there. And that's where you're going to drill your 3/4 inch hole for your lock cylinder. And after that, move on to the door run clip here. So this is the factory one. We'll just push this out to the side, lift this up. Let's get that out of the way. And you'll just pinch these 2 tabs here at the bottom. Kind of wiggle it off there. Alright, so now with your door lock rod here, you can see it's not perfectly at a 90-degree angle. It's sort of angled out. So what I want to do is bend this end here a little farther in so it's at a perpendicular 90-degree angle. So for the second bend, you'll take your pliers like this and bend it up like so. You can see there's a slight bend right here in the middle of the rod where it's normally straight. This is just to prevent the top of the rod from hitting the top of the rod. 5/16 drill bit to fit the larger slider clip pin, whatever you want to call it. I'll take a 1/4 inch drill bit here, and we're going to measure 2 inches from the extrusion here in the plastic. So we're about there. Now you'll take 3 of the springs provided, and you're going to take the small end here. Might have to slightly enlarge the loop there. You're going to slide that end over. I'm going to take another one of your springs. Again, might have to kind of open it up at the end there, if you can see that. Then you want to clip that one into the other spring. The reason you do this is so that it exerts the same amount of force in each direction. If one's up here, it's going to provide less pulling force. If one is farther up here. So, anyways, we'll take that clip, put the rod in like this. Actually, I'm sorry. You're going to take your 3rd spring, open that up a little bit, just slide that right over the front. So at this point, this spring here is going to go onto this T45, so just spin this bolt out, and then put the spring right over the bolt and tighten it back down. Make sure this rod slides freely into this hole too. If you have any resistance, it'll hinder you when you go to unlock the door, so it'll slide in all the way. So now, we'll pop one of these lower springs down here into this hole we had drilled earlier. Alright, so now we're ready to reinstall the door panel. So we'll begin by reaching in here and pulling the handle through. Now, right here on the top, we will attach the upper spring. So this is the tool of choice for putting on the spring here. So take your pick, loop it around the top there, and just try and hook it into your lock cylinder. Just like so. Now make sure you get the lower clips. I'll show these right here. Yeah, the bottom. Make sure these pop up in the door. So you'll have to lift the door panel up. This one. Pushing them out, make sure all these go in. Okay, that's the bottom. So now you just push the door panel in with all the clips. Now after you get the door panel installed, test the operation of your locks. And if you find that the door is not unlocking, you may need to stretch the upper spring connecting to the lock cylinder. Another way, the easiest way to adjust them, is to just stick your key in here and kind of push on the lock and turn the key. You see how that whole lock cylinder is moving. Just go back where it was, but basically that's just changing the angle of the rod and applying more or less pressure on that spring. Yeah, it's kind of just a little bit of playing around with it, making sure everything works, making sure it works every time. So you see that first time it didn't go, so I'll turn that cylinder back down a little bit. There we have it. That's the fronts.